For fantasy fans, I present the best action figure playset you've never heard of, the super cool Narnia Castle. From the world of Narnia comes the deluxe Telmarine Castle, released by Jakks Pacific in, I believe, 2008. I've never watched Narnia, I don't know much about it, but I've always wanted a cool castle playset. Those vintage Playmobil castles in particular have always piqued my interest, but they're way too expensive. Any action figure-sized castle display can be pretty pricey. Looks like this one was clearanced out at Ross, although it too can be pretty expensive now, fetching almost as much as those vintage Playmobil castles. But this was a thrift store find, and I was absolutely flabbergasted to find it. Complete too, it looks like everything's in here. It was sealed, never opened, never touched in over a decade. Pretty crazy. So looking at the box, it looks like there's a lot of fun features here we're gonna explore. This playset is action-packed with everything you would expect a great action figure playset to have. Seriously, this thing is like Castle Grayskull meets the Kenner Star Wars Death Star. It really is one of those ultimate playsets that I wish I had had as a kid, because I would have used this thing for everything. Like Indiana Jones would have explored this castle with Lara Croft and fought Darth Vader. Seriously, because who cares about Narnia at the end of the day? I mean, I'm sure somebody out there likes those movies. Heck, maybe you do. I know there's some cool furry figures and characters. There's like a werewolf figure. Yeah, I need to pick up that one. But this castle is fantastic. It's gonna look great with any action figure in it. So, looking over all the features on the back, here it is, unassembled. It's all here and complete, packed very nicely. Again, never played with. So, let's open it up and put it together. The instructions are honestly kind of pointless. The assembly consists of like two things. I opened these up and I'm like, oh geez, there's gonna be a lot to do here. But most of the instructions is just showing you what you can do with the playset, which is the same thing the box does. But you know, I'm not gonna complain. It's nice and high quality, right, to include something like this. Plus the illustrations are really nice, so they put some work into this. Okay, so it's time to crack open those accessories. And we get a golden throne and some swords and shields here. Now, the sword and shield isn't just like a random weapon. It actually has a role in the playset. Same with this crossbow. It's not an action figure crossbow. It attaches to the playset, though it does fire quite nicely. Seriously, this thing can go quite a distance. I'll show you what they do in a second here. And then we have this very nicely detailed throne. Could have used some more paint apps. It's pretty plain, just cast in gold, but the sculpting is so good that it kind of makes up for that. It is a really skinny throne though, so you're gonna have to have a tiny action figure sit in it. Okay, so here's the castle when you first open it up. Looks like a very nice play environment. Lots of space for your action figures to run around. And it's got a very nice, medieval, dingy castle interior. And we have like water and a little bit of mountain, which gives it a little bit more character than just being a plain castle. I mean, not even the Playmobil castles have nature pieces attached to them. So the assembly's super easy. There's just this one turret that clicks on the top, and that's it. That's pretty much our castle. From the outside, it looks nice, if not a bit generic. Again, this is a Narnia item, but it really can be used for anything because it's kind of a plain looking castle, which is totally okay because it's awesome and can be used to hold tons of figures. So here's the exterior with action figures, and not a lot of room here for figures. You'll notice that the bottom right portion is dedicated to just castle space. So front, but back, wow, look at all this space to hold action figures. See, usually with playsets, when it comes to display, they look better from the front. Like Castle Grayskull has a really nice front, but the interior is quite plain, though this playset has a lot going on inside. So demonstrating one of our features here, this is the drawbridge. You hit a button, and you keep the intruders out, just like that. There was an opening jail cell with full interior. It looks like a little Ewok got jailed there. And what I like is that the jail cell is fully enclosed. There's a solid wall next to it. Too often, the playset jail cell's kind of hollow. We have a nice room to display figures on the top and bottom bridges. And the top bridge has a pretty cool feature. I'm going to show it in a second here. See that little button? You press that, and there they go, into the waters, probably to be eaten by dragons or alligators. We have another trap door here, and it looks like the Chipettes have just sentenced Theodore to prison, but he's too big, he can't even fit in the cell. So the sword and shield I showed can attach to this weapons rack on the bottom floor, which is pretty cool. I'm going to guess that the other Narnia weapons clip on there, if you bought any of those. And the drawbridge has these really nice dumbbells. They don't do anything. They can't be used to raise or lower the bridge, but they are nicely detailed, and I like that they aren't just sculpted onto it. Again, the throne is really tiny, so only the Chipettes can fit on it. But in the inside, we have a storing spot for the sword and shield, and according to the playset, you can use that to overthrow the king. We have a classic Star Wars-style dueling mechanism here, although my figures don't fit the peg holes, and they kind of just fall out of it. The crossbow can attach to the side here and be used to defend the castle. It can also be attached to the very top of the castle, say, maybe the king or queen wants to take a shot at the enemy intruders. And it can also clip to the side. So you get a lot of options on how you want to display this. What action figure playset wouldn't be complete without a walking elevator, though it looks like Lola got stuck. And finally, we have the emblem on the front of the castle that can switch to both Narnia houses, so you can decide who's in control of the castle in kind of a capture the flag game mode. I also like how this would make a great display for my own clay figures. I kind of make my own Furry fantasy figurines, and they would just look cool filling out this castle. It makes me want to sculpt more and fill it out, and maybe even take it to conventions as a display piece. This playset has a lot of photo opportunities. Let's check it out.